A top African cardinal named Robert Sarah went on a tirade against Islamic extremism and liberalism. It's weird. So according to Raw Story, he said the following, quote, "Theological discernment allows us to see in our times two unexpected threats, almost like the beasts of the apocalypse, from two opposite positions. On one side, the idolatry of Western freedom, how evil Western freedom is, and on the other, religious fanaticism. What Nazism and fascism," well, let's pause here for a second, actually. How hilarious that. This guy is a fundamentalist Christian, and he's saying, oh, religious fanaticism is a problem, but only when the Muslims do it. When I do it, that's fine. He says, what Nazism and fascism and communism were to the 20th century, Western ideologies on homosexuality and abortion and Islamic fanaticism are today. The secular Western world's way of thinking threatened to destroy the family through quickie divorces, abortion, homosexual unions, and the LGBT lobby. On the other side, there is the pseudo-family of an ideological Islam which legitimizes polygamy, sexual slavery, child marriage. Look at Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Boko Haram. Certain keys allow us to discern the same demonic origin of these two movements. They both advocate a universal and totalitarian law. They're both violently intolerant, destroyers of families and the church, and openly anti-Christian. Alright, I love this for two reasons. One, because it's false equivalence. The other, because it's also projection. Two things we talk about all the time on this show. So the false equivalence is Western freedom and liberalism is equal to Islamic fundamentalism. No, it's literally the opposite. One is good and makes sense, and the other one is ridiculous and horrific. And then the projection aspect of it is, everything he's accusing the Islamic fundamentalists of being is also what he is. This guy, he's from the conservative wing of Christianity, and they go on to explain that in the article, his history and everything he's advocating for here. So the real issue, the real problem here is the two demonic movements, let's say. Hello, it would be fundamentalist Christianity, fundamentalist Islam. And I would go as far as you can throw in authoritarian political movements in there as well. So, those are three big evils and bad movements in my opinion. Fundamentalist religion, and authoritarian politics. But what does he do? Does a full false equivalence and does projection. The idea that Western freedom is comparable to ISIS, he literally made that comparison. Secular Western freedoms, that's totally like ISIS, except it's the exact opposite of ISIS in virtually every way. ISIS wants to kill people in secular democracies, the majority of them. You have a ban on the death penalty even when somebody commits a crime. Okay, you get life in prison, but no death penalty. You have zero social freedoms under fundamentalist Islam. You have nothing but social freedom under ideological secular Western liberalism. And when I say that, I mean the epitome of it, which would be, social liberalism and economic liberalism. So, you can buy drugs, legalize drugs, or at least decriminalize drugs, women's rights, and stuff like that. It's such a classic thing that people on the far right do. They just assume that anything they dislike has to be evil, and it has to be demonic, and it has to be equal. So Western liberalism, ISIS, tomato, it's all bad. Obviously, fundamentalist Christianity, which is what I am, that's good, even though I have so much in common with the fundamentalist Muslims.